in operation, it moves up and down. That's how you get your air in there. This tool I made to knock the seat out of the mixer body. This seat would be inside this mixer body about, well, it would be where this set screw is. So you have to knock that out. Well, the way they made these is this will come out this way. This will be in the mixer body, and so what I did, this is just simple brass turning, and it's the size for this seat. So what I do, put that down in the bore, put it in a seat, take the hammer to it, and knock it out. Okay, when you knock it loose, then it will come out right here. Okay, you get the seat out that way. So to put the seat back in, I've made this tool, simple, turning on the lathe, and it's just a step down. The seat part, you put it right there after you have turned a face on the seat. This area right here, that just face that off straight across that whole seat all the way around there. That's the only thing we're doing to this. And if you want to take that a step further, what you can do, put some very fine valve grinding paste on a glass. I use this small one. Put a little paste here, put the seat right there, and just work it around, moving it, raising it up, moving it, raise it up. You want a perfectly smooth seat for the flapper to fit on. This part right here, that's what makes this mixer operate. So the way that works is there'll be a spring down in this hole here. This goes down in there, and it sets about like that. And this little poppet goes up and down as the suction of the engine, and it fits right here. Okay, to further tune this mixer up, once you have turned this face perfectly flat, you put that down there and you work it around and polish it where that when it fits on there, it is a perfect seal. It don't get much better than that. So that's the procedure for that. Now, you will find when you're working on these mixers that this part of the flapper wires. Also the bore in this nut part, it wires. So at that point, see, this is no good. That is very bad. Now, a fix for that is to find the center of this. Easy enough. It's simple machining on the milling machine over there. Just find the center, bore that out, just one size bigger, just the cleanup passes, all you want there, because you're going to have to make a new one of these flappers. And when you do that, this shaft right here will be oversized. So at that point, it makes this heavier. So what you want to do is this to be as small as you can get a cleanup pass. Then you make a new one of these. I've been making them all week long. I've already installed them in mixers, and it's just kind of follow-up, how-to, but that's the procedure for that. And then that's the way that works with a spring in here. And now the most important part of this mixer is the spring. A few years ago, someone had advertised, can you see this little spring I have right here? Someone advertised and sold this as a Maytag mixer spring, and it's not. It's close, but if you want to start one by turning the flywheel, then you do not need that in your engine. You need an original one, or one that has the same tension. This little spring right here, you can see it. Comparing the two, it has about twice, I didn't count them, it has about twice the amount of coils, and this is a stainless steel one. It's too stiff. This one is really, it's smooth. Use the original spring. I mean, you can kick it a few times and it'll start with this one. This right here, I run an end mill down in yonder just to clean that bore up. Faced it off just to clean up cut. And then when I made this, I made it a few thousandths oversized so that it would fit in there, and it's good and smooth. When they're worn, they're like this. It's just, it has no control of itself. That said, make yourself a tool, and the way the tool works, when you get ready to install your seat, then the seat part goes like so. This is it's a close fit, and this works like such. This would go in the mixer body like that. Okay. When that's right there, then you hit this with a hammer on this end and seat that seat down in there. Okay. I turned this tool to where that this shoulder and this shoulder is the correct distance for the seat. Is 3/4 from the gasket surface to the seat face is 3/4 of an inch exactly. That's when you press that back down in there, you set it at 3/4 of an inch and you'll be correct. Now that's very important. You can adjust it a little bit if this seat height, and you'll have to make a different tool or either make a shim to go on this surface right here. You can make a shim to where that don't seat as deep. The reason you would do that is if you take, now these right here are worn out. They're absolutely no good. The worn part is that this part right here where that fits on that seat. See the bevel on that right there? Okay, it's so thin that if you faced that off, it would you wouldn't have nothing left. Plus, this part right here is worn so much undersize. It would be easier to make a new one than to salvage this one. They do wear out. At that point, you need to make a new one. And make yourself a tool, simple turning. If you're going to work on engine, guys, you need this stuff. Extraction tool and a installing tool. That's just how simple it is. It's just a simple. There's nothing exotic about these mixers. You would have a seat down in there. You would have this flapper down in there. You would have a spring, and then you put the nut on it. This lock ring right here is very important. Do not neglect to put this lock ring in it or put spacer in there, because the thickness of this lock ring has, when you screw this down there, the thickness of that lock ring holds this nut proud of this mixer body that much. That's how much that is. Now, if you put this in without the lock ring, then it will make the spring have more tension. You don't want that. So you need, and that spring is, I'm not stressing it enough to how important the tension on the spring is, as to if you want to get out there and crank your engine, you know, go up there at the hardware store and just get something off the shelf and put it in there. And then you can crank on your engine all day long. But you can put the right spring in there and you'll be really happy with I'm going to say 2 or 3. If it's tuned up right, crank her by hand. And if anything ain't right whatsoever, if anything is not right, or if you have additional information, post it in the comments down there, and you know, we'll get back to it.